be who they have to be, priests of Christ. Now, as we look towards St. Louis de Montfort, he had foiled many times the attempts by the Calvinists against his life. He was in constant danger. For example, St. Louis would not walk down certain dark alleys at night for fear of being assaulted by cutthroats. And sometimes they would actually get him in places that he didn't expect them to be. At one time when these evil men assaulted him and put a knife to his throat, St. Louis de Montfort told them in serenity, he says, "Go ahead, slit my throat, but on one condition, that first promise me that you would convert from your evil ways if you do this." And so they let him go. So, St. Louis de Montfort, pray for us. So what was next? For a long time, they had the bishop remove his faculties. He couldn't preach. He couldn't hear confessions. But then finally, he got him back. And so the Calvinists were all disturbed by this. And so they attempted in 1711 to give him a trap by which he fell. And he had him, in between missions, have him eat poisoned soup. And therefore, from that moment onwards, 38 years of age until his death, just dying very young. He was 38 years old when he was poisoned. And so I would maybe make an argument that we should wear red vestments for St. Louis de Montfort, even though lots of time passed between that bowl of soup and his death. But that was his downfall. He started to get sick, and he fell downwards from that moment. But the following spring, in 1712, ignoring his illness, he went to an island by the name of Île d'Yeu, about 18 miles off the coast of Brittany. And they all were discouraging him. He says the priests have not gone there for years because the pirates were infesting the waters, and they were particularly agitated when priests would make the passage. And so there, he says, well, let's go, looking danger right into its face. Well, we have to go. The people need God over there, the 2,000 inhabitants of the island, the fisher community. And so they took on a journey, but they were pretty nervous. His companions were nervous that they were making the journey. And 9 miles into the journey, the expected happened. 2 pirate ships approached their vessel. And St. Louis de Montfort stood calmly and assured his terrified companions that it will be all right, that they were underneath the protection of the Blessed Virgin. And so he says, let us sing a hymn to the Blessed Virgin. But the other men had no stomach for hymns and songs. They were frightened to death. And as the pirate ships got closer and now expected to blast away their little ship, St. Louis was then leading them in the Holy Rosary, since they couldn't sing. And he was leading them as if he was in some peaceful church over there, praying his rosary with them. And at the close of the rosary, St. Louis announced that they were safe. The Blessed Virgin heard their prayers, and then all of a sudden, safe, says Father de Bastier, with a panic in his voice, pointing his finger to the pirates' oncoming ships. At this point, there was a dramatic change of wind, and the pirates' boats steered swiftly, unexpectedly off course. And even the captain of the boat was looking through his spyglass. And he saw that they were gearing up the cannons, ready to blast them away out of the water. And then the captain asked St. Louis de Montfort, "How did you do this, Father?" And St. Louis de Montfort's response was, "I didn't do anything, but Our Lady does wonderful things." Listen to this. "Who pray the Holy Rosary." St. Louis then said, "Maybe y'all would like to sing a hymn to Our Lady." And they all enthusiastically sang the Magnificat. That beautiful song that we always sing every day at Vespers, at least